Oh, she's here. Okay, she's just very slow. Oh, skeleton here. Alright, class. In this lesson, we're going to add the boss, which is a skeleton. We will randomize the animations. So every time when we start the game, the skeleton gonna play a different idle animation. Every time you get hurt, you're gonna play a different hurt animation, something like that. Okay, so first, let's bring in the models I provided. So let's go back to the models folder. Let's create a new folder, say skeleton, and then I want you to bring in the skeleton model first. Okay, so here we want to put our boss at here in the center, in the last stage. So we want to duplicate this girl just for testing purpose. So I'm gonna hit Command D to make a duplication. Same thing as what I have done last time, right? So make a duplication and say testing, and I'm gonna hide the original one, and I'm gonna bring this duplication to the stage. So I'm gonna bring her to here, and I will also disable the old lady. The old lady was here, the zombie, so we want to disable her so she will not allowing us attack us. So first person controller, I'm gonna also bring it to the final stage. So here we go. Okay, so let's put them at the entrance of this room, and the girl, I also want her to stay close to the player. Okay, and then let's drop in the zombie, the skeleton. So let's bring the skeleton inside of the scene. You can bring the skeleton closer to the girl just for scale references. See, you can make it smaller if you think this is too big, but I think because it's the boss, I think the scale is fine. So now I'm gonna move it away from us, and then I want to add some scary lights on the skeleton. So here I'm going to right click on that and create a light, a point light. It's been cut off in the recording, but right click on that, you will find light, point light. Okay, so for the point light, I'm going to bring it closer to the character's face and change the range, make the range small, just enough to illuminate the skeleton, and make the intensity higher. And I want to give it as a red color. And if I hide the directional light is for testing purpose. See, if I hide it, this is how it looks. Okay, and then I want to bring all the animations. So go back to the skeleton folder and bring the skeleton animation pack. And here I also included a screenshot for the settings of the animations. So basically it's the same as the zombie, the old lady zombie character, and also the girl character. So we want the hurt animation to translate to walk. So every time when we hurt the skeleton, you're gonna play the hurt animation, and then once the hurt animation is done, you're gonna translate back to the walk animation. That's it. And for death, attack, and idle animation, all of this animation will be called once the skeleton is in idle stage or is in attack stage. And also, I want you to check on loop time for idle animation, which is here, the idle animation, and the walk animation, because when the character is in the idle stage, definitely the animation is gonna be looping, right? Same as walk. But for hurt, you don't want it to idle. Death, you don't want it to, the hurt, you don't want it to loop. Same thing as the death, because he could only die one time, right? Okay, so that's the settings. And then let's work on that. So this is the animation folder. Let's right click and create a new animation controller and say skeleton animation control and open it. And before we get started to import all of the animation clips, so here I want you to create an empty state. So by default, you're gonna play this empty state. It has nothing inside there, so so the skeleton will not play any animation unless it has been called. Okay, and next thing is, say for all of the animations, I already renamed it. The name convention is important. It's the same as the previous lessons, like the zombie character and the girl character. So we will reference the specific animation here in the script. See, here's the hurt animation, here's the death animation. So I have changed the name convention, of the file, of the animation file. However, this is the file, and the animation clip is still in the original name, since all of the animations are generated in mix mode. Okay, I showed you in the previous lesson, so you should be able to do it by yourself, right? So by default, the animations we generated from there still has the mix mode brand there. So all I want you to do is just to copy the file name and select it, and then scroll down. See, this is the animation. So this is the animation clip inside there. See, animation clip. So you just rename it. So paste the name here, hit return key to confirm the change, and then apply. That's it. So you're gonna repeat this to apply that for all of them. So this is the attack 2. So I'm gonna just paste it here. See, attack 2, hit return key, apply. Okay, so you will do it for all of the individual animation clips. So just to make sure that you copy the name of the file and go to the animation and paste it here and hit the return key to confirm the change and apply. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video here and I'll give you about like 1 minute to finish all of them, and we're gonna restart. All right, once you change the name convention of all the animation clips, just click on all of them to double check the name convention, because you don't want your animation to be called wrong, if you put the name conventions wrong. Okay, once you finish that, I want you to go to the idle animation, and remember I just mentioned that we want to loop the time for idle and walk. So you're gonna select each individual animation clips again. So this time I'm gonna check on loop time and apply. Loop time, apply. Okay, so you're gonna do this for the idle animations first, and then the walk animation. So the walk and idle animation is going to loop. Okay, so now I'm finished. So once you are finished, let's bring in all of the animation clips into the scene. So first is the attack animations. So let's just organize it a little bit to have a better interface. So this is attack, and then here's the death animations. So I think I'm gonna put the death animations above. Okay. So here's the death animation, and then we will get to hurt animation. Okay, so hurt animation is tricky. Remember I said whenever the zombie character, actually skeleton character, it get hurt, it's going to transit back to the walk animation, right? So now we just place the hurt animation here first, and then we're going to skip the idle first. We're gonna bring in the walk animation and make the transition. So walk 1, walk 2, walk 3. It really doesn't matter how you arrange this. So here, because the name convention is similar, so hard 1, walk 1. So I just transit hard 1 to walk 1. So it's nice and neat. But you can do hard 1 transit to walk 3 and switch the order if you want. And so that's the walk, and then we're gonna go back to the idle animations. So here's the idle one, idle 2, 3, 4, and 6. Oh, actually 5. So we only have 5 clips. And death animation, we have 6 clips. Okay, so this is the structure. So basically, when you start the game, your zombie will not play any of the animation. You're gonna stay in the empty state. So once the animation has been called, you're gonna play. For example, we assigned the skeleton character. Oh, I haven't assigned script. Okay, so first we assign idle script. So you're gonna call the idle animation. Okay, and we assign a chasing animation. Then you're gonna play the walk animation. So that's it. Okay, so now let's go back to the skeleton. Go back to the scene. So let's bring in the script. Okay, I haven't bring any script. So let's I think I'll just drag the whole pack inside of here. So it saves the time for it to load. All right, once the script is imported, and then we're gonna go back to the animation pack, and let's assign the animation controller onto the skeleton. And then we're going to right click. Oh, actually, we're gonna go to the script part. Okay, so we're going to go to the script pack and find the idle. Yeah, this is one, skeleton idle, assign it onto the skeleton. So here we go. And then we just need to assign the variables. So first is the skeleton, basically is itself. And where's the player? So we want our player to aim, we want the skeleton to aim to our player. Take a look here. So this is the script. So he won't look at the player, but actually we want it to look at somewhere around the foot of the player. So he will constantly stand up no matter how close the player is walk to him, right? If we stab on him, if he's looking at the player's head, he will fall. So we don't want that happen. So remember in the previous lesson, when we add the zombie characters, I created this object. So it's located around the foot of my player. Okay, so you're gonna assign that. So select the skeleton, go back to its idle script. For the player section, you just assign the zombie look here. So we want the zombie to look here. Okay, that point. And then we can do a test. But before I test it, I want to show you the script. So here the difference between this script and the ordinary zombies character is here I put a randomization. So we're gonna have an idle random number is from 1 to 6. Okay, so if we the random number is 1, you're gonna randomize the animation and gonna play the skeleton idle 1. If the random number is 2, you're gonna play the idle 2. Okay, so let's see how it looks in the scene. So since we already assigned this script, right? So we can, for testing purpose, we can just duplicate it several times and see how the random animation looks like. So I start the game and walk closer to the skeleton so I will be able to see it. Okay, so here we go. So you notice that it randomized it. Though there's 3 of them are the same, this one's the same. Let me do another test to see if it's normal or if I didn't change the name convention correctly. Okay, yeah, this time is a different animation. Okay, so this one, these are the same. So let me do just one more test. Just double check for sure. Because sometimes you may make a type errors. You copy the file name and you didn't change it. Okay, this is different, this is different. Okay, yeah, it's correct. Okay, so now I'm going to delete the copies I have created, and then I want it to chase the player. So in order to let it chase, let me show you the script. Skeleton chasing. We will need to access its navigation mesh agent because set destination is a command from the navigation mesh agent. Okay, so as we assign a navigation mesh agent to the skeleton, he will be able to walk the whole map that marked in blue. So the blue is the navigation map we created earlier, right? So here we're going to just search for navigation mesh agent, assign, and stop distance. We want to put maybe 1.5. Let me check for the zombie character what I put. Yeah, stop distance for zombie is 1.5. So skeleton, I also wanted to stop about 1.5 meters away from the player. Okay. However, here you will notice the issue that if I show you the skeleton, his feet is above the ground, right? But when I play the animation and if I walk closer to the skeleton, you will see his foot is actually shifted under the ground. See that? Okay, so that is because the pivot point of the skeleton is not on his feet. It's somewhere around his elbow joint or somewhere. So it just places the pivot point on the floor. So that's why he's inserted in the floor. Okay, so that's something related to 3D modeling. So basically, I created this model. I didn't realize I haven't placed the pivot point on his feet, so that's the problem. Okay, but we can fix it here. So if you select the skeleton, if you check his navigation mesh agent, so here's the base offset. Okay, so let me show you how it looks. So do you see this green color cylinder? So basically, when you start the game, this cylinder will be placed above the ground, and the bottom line, it will touch the ground. So it stays with the character. So that means if I shift this cylinder down to around like 0.4 or something, see that? Right now it looks like this cylinder is being on the ground, but when we start the game, this cylinder will shift up. So that way, it's gonna bring the character up. Okay. So now we're gonna test it later, so you will see it will be correctly. So now I want to add more stuff. So here I already added a navigation mesh agent, right? So I want to add a chasing animation. So here we go. So this is a chasing animation. So you also assign it onto the skeleton. And let's temporarily disable the idle script. And we're going to use another script to call it later on. Okay, so here's the chasing script. So we're going to assign the variables. So first is the skeleton model, skeleton itself. And second is the skeleton's navigation mesh agent. So since we already assigned the navigation mesh agent onto the skeleton, so if you drop the model here, you're gonna load its navigation mesh agent. And the player, so this time the player are gonna be the player's group. Okay, so now if I save and if I show you the script, so this is the chasing. So when you start the game, you're going to we will have an integer which is the walk random. So the randomized number from 1 to 5. So if the random number is 1, you're going to play walk 1. If the random number is 2, you're going to play walk 2 animation. And also you're going to set the skeleton's navigation mesh agent's destination to where the player is located. So if our players are moving, you're going to update the destination. All right, so now what about I just duplicate this guy, so we have several copies of him, so we can see the randomized animation. Okay, so basically we're gonna have a lot skeletons chasing us. Okay, so let's play. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, the animation is different. So here in the center, the 3 is being generated the same number, but it's fine. So every time when you enter the game, the zombie gonna play different animation. Okay, so if I just test it one more time, you will see, this time the 3 skeleton in the middle, they will have a different animation because it's randomized. See that? So 2 of them are the same. Oh, this one on the side is being generated the same number. Okay, I just want to do one more test to see if I put the name convention wrong, so they call the same animation or not. Okay, just one more testing for.
Don't leave me alone.
Okay, yeah, I think they'll have different animations. So now I'm gonna delete I'm gonna delete the copies for the skeleton. So now by default, we want it to play the idle animation and disable the chasing animation, and we want to awake the zombie. So once we awake him, so he's gonna play the chasing animation. And also, if you just watch back the previous part when I do testing, you should realize that his food is already above the ground. Okay, so now let's right click on the skeleton and create a 3D object, a cube. So we're gonna see trigger skeleton awake. And so that depends on how big you want it to be. Okay, I want it to be really big, huge. So whenever our player walked into the space, it will awake. So something like that. Okay, so whenever we walked into the space, he will awake. So now check on mesh renderer, and I think I'm gonna compress it along the y-axis a bit, and then I'm gonna move the skeleton backward because our player is here. Actually, we're gonna place it here. Place it here and make the awake trigger even bigger so it covers the tunnel. Okay, and we're gonna bring our girl and the player into the tunnel now. Okay, so that's the girl and this is the player. Okay, so that's the awake trigger, but we haven't assigned anything yet. So we go to its box collider, make sure you check on is trigger for the awake trigger. Okay, and then we're going to assign awake script onto it. And then on the awake channel, we just bring in all of the different individual stuff. So first is the skeleton, second is the skeleton sound. So we're gonna create a skeleton sound. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Skeleton sound. And then we're gonna bring in, not here, let me see where, oh, actually here. The skeleton sound, yeah, here, this pack. So we're gonna bring in this whole, this whole pack. Sound effects, yes, sound effects, and then this is the heart sound, this is the sound. Okay, skeleton sound effects. We're going to drop that onto here and check off play on wake. So this is going to be called and check on loop. We want the zombie's sound to be looping, and sound we change it to 3D type and default roll off. So that's the setting. And then go to the wake trigger and assign the skeleton sound, and then attack trigger. So later on, we will use the skeleton to attack our player. So we will have that assigned here. So right now we can just create the trigger first, and we're going to put the function later. So here's a 3D object, and I'm going to rename it as skeleton. Skeleton attack. This is attack. And let's make it about, let's see. Okay, so let's make it about 3, 3, 3. Bring it this way, all right? And check on is trigger, check off mesh renderer. So that's the attack trigger. So we're gonna assign the function later, but right now we only need this trigger as a placeholder. Yeah, we only need it as a placeholder. And okay, and we go to skeleton wake trigger and assign the attack trigger here, and then is trigger is itself. Okay, so that's the wake. So now let's take a look at the script. So basically, whenever you start the game, you're gonna disable the skeleton chasing script. Okay, you're gonna disable the skeleton attack trigger as well if you forgot to disable it. And whenever a player, an object tagged as a player or tagged as a boolean enter this trigger, you're going to get its component, get the skeleton component and skeleton chase and enable it. So you're going to activate the chasing script. So now you're going to chase us. You're going to also disable its skeleton idle script. You're going to play the skeleton sound. You're going to activate the attack trigger, so you will be able to attack us when it gets closer to us. You're going to also disable itself, the awake trigger itself, so he will not be able to awake several times. Okay, so that's the awake trigger, and okay, and we can check the idle script off manually. Check off the skeleton chasing script manually and just leave the idle animation, the idle script on, though the awake trigger gonna do that for us. Okay, but why not? We just also check that just for safe. Now I'm gonna do a quick test. So if I start the game, by default, you're gonna play the idle animation. Okay. By default, you're gonna play the idle animation. See there? So play the idle animation, and whenever I walk in there, so now he will awake. He will play the sound as well. Okay, and he's stopping at about 1.5 meters away from us. But right now, he's not attacking us when he's getting closer to us. And also, I think I can penetrate through it. So I'm gonna select the skeleton, right click, and create a 3D object, a cube. So I'm gonna create a collider first. So this one I'm gonna say skeleton collider. So it will be able to collide with us when it's getting closer to us, or when we jump and step on him. So we can just make this collider really slim. And make sure it's around his feet. Okay, so this is skeleton collider, and then skeleton collider attack trigger. Okay, so we're gonna work on the attack. So now let's assign the skeleton attack script onto the attack trigger. So whenever our player is inside of this range, it's gonna play the attack animation. So here's it. So we just need to assign the skeleton to it. Okay, and let me show you the script. So basically, I also put a randomization for this script. So let me just get more space on my screen so you will be able to see it. Okay, so we have two boolean. One is in the attack range, in or not. One is attacking us or not. Okay, so that's exactly the same as the Unity zombie character. So whenever in attack range is true and he's not attacking us, it will get to the coroutine, which is attack player. So here's attack player. So in attack player, okay, we're gonna have attack random. So this is integer. So you're gonna generate a number between 1 to 5. And gonna randomize attack 1, 2, 3, 4 animation. You're gonna wait for 3 seconds, and then you're gonna check the attacking as a false. So now he's not attacking us anymore. So you're gonna go through the whole thing one more time. If he's still inside of the trigger, inside of the attack trigger. Okay, and on trigger enter. So if the player entered the trigger, if an object tagged as a player entered the trigger, in attack range is true. So we are inside of his attacking range, right? If the player exit this trigger, so in attack range gonna be checked as a false. So you're gonna just play the coroutine, which is walk to player. So now we're gonna generate a walk random number between 1 to 5, and they're gonna randomize the walk animations. So that's it. So now let's go back to trigger. Yeah, we already set it. So we can just do a quick testing. Why not I duplicate this guy? so we can see the randomized animation. Okay, so now test.
Don't leave me alone.
Okay, as you can see, they are playing different orc animation and different attack animation. It's hard to see, but let me get here. See, if we're in the range, they're gonna play different attack animation. Yeah, works perfectly. So now I'm gonna delete the copies, and I'm gonna go back to skeleton collider. I forgot to turn the mesh render off. But before I do that, let me make him even thinner, the collider even thinner, and turn it off. Okay, so now we'll not be able to see it. So now we're going to add the health trigger, so we'll be able to actually kill him. So we're going to, let me see, collider. So why not just duplicate the skeleton collider and rename this as trigger skeleton health. Okay, and then we just remember to check is trigger on. So is a trigger, and make it wider, make it thicker. Oh, too much, something like that. Okay, and before I move on to health, actually I forgot one thing. So remember he was attacking us, but he's not able to hurt us currently because we don't have an object that's tagged as enemy, right? So if we have an object tagged as enemy and when it enters the player's health trigger, okay, when the enemy object enters this health trigger, the player's health point is going to be deducted. So we'll need to do that. So actually, because the character is being animated, so why not I just go to its skeleton and create a object that's gonna hurt our player, right? So that's exact the same, right shoulder. Okay, so that's exact the same as the ordinary zombie character. So this time I'm gonna go to his left arm. I just want to try something new. So I want to go to his left arm, left palm, and right click on that and create a new 3D object, a cube, and make this cube smaller, something like that. And I'm gonna say skeleton weapon, and check off mesh renderer and leave the box collider on and without checking the is trigger. So we don't want this to be a trigger. We want it to be able to collide with our player's health trigger. But also let's add one more thing, which is a ring body. So add a ring body, check off use gravity so it will not fall. Check on is kinematic, so when it collide with us, it's gonna stay in its place. Okay, so with the ring bodies on, it will also able to hurt NPC character, which is the girl character in the scene. Okay, so now we just have to go to attack is here. Oh, sorry. So we just remember for the weapon, make sure you tag it as enemy. Tag it as enemy. So the player health trigger will recognize it and it's gonna deduct a health point whenever this object enters the trigger. Okay, so now go back to the health trigger of the skeleton. Let's assign skeleton health. Let's assign skeleton health onto the trigger, and we'll just assign all of the variables. So here, let me hide the actually I'll leave this on. Okay, so this time I'm going to duplicate the skeleton sound. Hit Command D to make a duplication. This time I'm going to make a skeleton death sound. Duplicate one more time. I'm going to say skeleton attack sound because we have 3 attack sounds. So here I'm going to say attack sound 1 and then duplicate it twice and just change the name of it. So here we go. Oh, here we go. So now I'm gonna go to the death sound and go back to the sound pack. Death sound, which one is that? Is, oh my bad, it's not actually Death. Okay, we have 3 death sound. Okay, my bad. I just renamed the name convention incorrectly. Yeah. Death sound, we have 3 different death sound. See that? We only have 1 heard sound, so that's why. So so this is gonna be skeleton heard sound. Death sound we have 3, so now I'm gonna make a duplication. Yeah, so this is the correct structure. So now we just need to assign each of them. So death sound 1, we're gonna assign death sound 1, and we don't want to loop it. Make sure it's a 3D sound. And same thing for the other 3. So we're gonna check off loop for all of them, and then go to the death sound 2 and apply the death sound 2. The third one, assign the death sound 3, and the heard sound is the heard sound. And double check the skeleton sound, okay, it's a loop, and it's the correct sound clip. All right, so now we can go back to our skeleton health script and just assign all the variables. So first is the heard sound, which is this one, and then there's the death sound 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna get each one of them in here, and then it's skeleton sound, which is the original skeleton yelling sound, and skeleton itself, which is this whole folder. Okay, and skeleton attack trigger, which is the one we just created. Skeleton weapon, which is the object. Okay, the object on his hand. And then this trigger is itself. Okay, so if you want, you can also give him more health point by just type the number here. For example, if you want him to have 200 health point, you can just type it here. So you can change it. Okay, so now let me show you the script before we do a test. So by default, the health point is 100. So every time when we damage the skeleton, we hurt him, so his health point gonna deduct by 10. Just need to know. And how can we hurt him? So we could only use boolnet to hurt him. So whenever a object tag is a boolnet, enter this trigger, enter his health trigger, you're going to play the hurt sound. You can also deduct its health point by the damage point, which is here. We listed here, so this is 10. And you're going to start this coroutine, which is hard skeleton. So this is the hard skeleton coroutine. So first, you're going to stop its navigation agent immediately, so you will not stop moving. And also, you're going to disable the skeleton chasing script temporarily, so he will not following us. And you're going to generate a random number for the hard random between 1 to 5, and you're going to play different hurt animations, and you're gonna wait for 3 seconds until the animation finished, and then you're going to enable with the chasing script, and you're gonna also make the navigation agent, the stop function as a false, so you will be able to move. And whenever the skeleton's health point is minus or equal to 0, definitely he's died, right? So what's gonna happen is it's going to disable the attack trigger, the skeleton attack trigger. You can also access its skeleton chasing script and disable it. You're going to disable its skeleton weapon, so he will not be able to hurt us. And he will not be able to attack us, play the attack animation as well. And we will also stop him moving immediately. So access his navigation mesh agent and stop him. And then you're going to disable the skeleton sound and disable this trigger. And you're going to generate a number between 1 to 7 for the death animation, right? So we're going to randomize the death animation. You're going to also randomize the death sound. So basically here's the integer play skeleton death sound from 1 to 4. So whenever let me get more space here. Whenever the skeleton randomization number is different, you're gonna play a different death sound. Okay, so that's it. So now, as I already have, let me see. As I already have all of the variables assigned, I can duplicate do a quick testing. Okay, I think 3. Actually, I want 5. 5 is more challenging. But for the copies, I want to move them backward, so it's easier for me to win. I don't want to lose the game. All right. So first, I want the first skeleton to come chasing me. I want him to attack me. Yeah, he's able to hurt me. What about the girl? Yes, it works. All right. So now let's take a look at their health point. Yeah, it works perfectly. Oh, I made a mistake. I pissed off all of them. I need to be able to kill one of them. Yeah, I'm able to kill. Okay, so it works. All right. Yeah, that's it. So that's for the boss character, and the only thing that left is basically we need to add the bottoms, right? So in the previous lessons, in previous demo, the racing car game, I showed you how to add the bottom function. So you can just reference that video to add the bottom functions. Without the bottom functions, I will just get the game for a full testing. So I only 5 skeletons there is fine. But if you only want one of them, you can do that. Just leave one and just increase his health point. Go to his health trigger, increase the health point, or go back to his health script and lower down the damage point. So every time when we shoot him, we will only be able to hurt him for 5 points, something like that. So he's tougher. Okay, so now I think I'm done with this girl. So I'm going to just delay him and enable the girl and pull him back. Oh, he's actually in the cage. Okay, so I don't have to pull him somewhere. Spawn is there in place. Spawn, yeah, here, and spawn trigger is here in place. Okay, let me just double check everything. So old lady, we need her to be in place. And only thing we have left is the player. Okay, the player, we want him to be in the initial location, which is here. And see, here's the gun for testing. We don't want that to show up in the beginning. So you can delay this one because this is the gun for testing purpose. So you can delete it, but I'm gonna temporarily hide it. Maybe I'm gonna change something later. Who knows? So I'm gonna just hide it. Oh wait. Gun, player health, gun on hand. Okay. Yeah, when we start the game, because the gun on hand is gonna be disabled. So when we start the game, it will not show. Unless we pick it up from the Kepler, and then you're gonna show up. Okay, what's next? Okay, the next is gonna be the directional light. We don't want any light in the scene. All right, so now I'm doing a full test. So first, pick up the key. So now I'm able to open the key. Let me maximize this. Now I should be able, see, I don't have a gun, I don't have a flashlight, but I'm able to open the door with the key. And I heard someone calling for help. Okay, and I just walk through this tunnel, and whenever she's seeing us, she will say unlock the door. If we walk away, she will say don't leave me here. And when we walk closer, she's saying unlock the door, press E to open the door. She's saying so scared. If we get closer to her, now she's following us. Okay, so here we can also see her health point. So now I'm gonna find the flashlights and pick up the flashlights. Okay, so now I can switch between different flashlights. So I'm gonna use this one. Oops, it's blocking me. Okay, the lights is off.
Don't leave me alone.
And now let's look for the gun. We're hearing zombie sound. Okay, press E, pick it up, and R key to enable the gun. And C to switch the flashlights.
Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone.
Oh, he's running to us.
Don't leave me alone. Hey, what is that? What is that? They're everywhere. They're here.
Oh, okay, where's the girl? Oh, she's here. Okay, she's just very slow. Oh, she's getting in here. Alright, so I just killed all of them. And you can have a win screen here. And just to reference the recent game demo, you can put a you win screen once you killed all of them.